Why Brazil could finally end their curse for more than 2 decades. The most successful team in football history has been chasing something that once seemed impossible to lose. Brazil has won 5 World Cups, more than any other nation. They produced legends like Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, and Neymar. They are the country that taught the world how beautiful football could be. And yet, despite all that history, Brazil has not lifted the World Cup trophy since 2002. 24 years of heartbreak, 24 years of disappointment, 24 years of watching someone else celebrate. For many football fans, that statistic feels almost impossible to believe. How can the greatest football nation on earth go so long without winning the sport's biggest prize? Even more shocking is what has happened during those years. Painful eliminations, historic humiliations, missed opportunities. Generations of incredible players who came so close but never reached the finish line. Some fans even began to wonder if Brazil had lost something special forever. But now, as the World Cup approaches once again, something feels different. Very different. Because for the first time in years, Brazil may have exactly what they were missing all along. And if that is true, the rest of the football world should be very worried. Tonight, we uncover the real reason Brazil could finally end their curse, the hidden transformation taking place behind the scenes, the new stars carrying the hopes of an entire nation, the dangerous weakness that could still destroy everything, and why World Cup 2026 could become the tournament that changes Brazilian football forever. The story begins with a wound that never truly healed, a wound every Brazilian football fan remembers, a wound that still echoes through stadiums today. The year was 2014. The World Cup was being held in Brazil. Everything felt perfect. The stadiums were full. The streets were covered in yellow and green. Millions believed destiny was preparing something magical. This was supposed to be Brazil's moment, winning a World Cup at home, creating memories that would last forever. At the center of those dreams stood Neymar, young, explosive, fearless. The entire country looked at him as the chosen one. The player destined to bring football's greatest prize back home. Game after game, Brazil survived. The pressure kept growing. Every victory pushed them closer to the dream. Then disaster struck against Colombia. Neymar suffered a serious back injury. The image shocked the entire world. Suddenly, Brazil's biggest weapon was gone. But nobody expected what happened next. In the semi-final against Germany, football history changed forever. Germany scored once, then twice, then 3 times. Then 4, then 5. Before many fans could even process what was happening, the scoreboard showed one of the most unbelievable results ever seen. Brazil 1, Germany 7. Inside the stadium, people cried. Some sat silently in disbelief. Others covered their faces. Millions watching around the world couldn't believe what they were seeing. The greatest football nation on earth was collapsing in front of its own fans. The defeat became more than just a loss. It became trauma, a scar. A moment that followed Brazilian football for years. Every tournament afterward carried the shadow of that night. Every player knew the questions would return. Every mistake reminded fans of Germany. Every elimination reopened old wounds. Many teams never recover from moments like that. Some spend decades trying, others never recover at all. And that's what made the next chapter so important. Because Brazil needed more than talent, they needed healing. But that wasn't even the biggest challenge. The years after 2014 revealed an even deeper problem. Brazil still produced amazing players, world-class players, players capable of winning trophies at the biggest clubs in Europe, yet somehow the national team continued falling short at the 2018 World Cup hopes. Returned, the squad looked strong. Neymar was back. The attack was dangerous. The confidence was growing. Then Belgium happened. Brazil played well, created chances, controlled large portions of the match, but football can be cruel. When the final whistle blew, Brazil were out. Another World Cup dream was over. The frustration grew. Fans began asking difficult questions. Was the problem tactical? Mental? Psychological? Was Brazil relying too heavily on individual brilliance? The debate divided supporters across the country. Then came 2022, and for many fans, the pain became even worse. This time, Brazil looked like genuine favorites. The squad was loaded with talent. Vinicius Jr was becoming one of the most exciting players in football. Richarlison was scoring spectacular goals. Casemiro provided experience. Neymar remained the emotional leader. Everything seemed to be coming together. Match after match, Brazil looked dangerous, confident, balanced, focused. Many experts predicted they would reach the final. Then came Croatia, a match Brazil appeared destined to win. Extra time arrived. Neymar scored. The stadium exploded. Brazilian fans celebrated. Players began imagining the semi-final. The dream felt real. Then football delivered another cruel lesson. Croatia equalized late. The match went to penalties. And once again, heartbreak arrived. Brazil were eliminated. Players collapsed onto the pitch. Some cried, others stared. Into the distance, the images spread across the world. Another generation had failed to bring the trophy home. Another chance was gone. At that moment, many supporters feared the curse was stronger than ever. But while fans focused on the pain, something important was happening behind the scenes. A new generation was growing. A generation unlike any Brazil had produced in years. And this is where everything started to change. For a long time, Brazil depended heavily on one superstar, first Ronaldinho, then Neymar. The team often revolved around a single figure, but modern football is different. Winning the World Cup requires more than one genius. It requires depth, balance, versatility, and Brazil may finally have all three. Look at the new generation emerging today. Vinicius Jr has become one of the most feared attackers in world football. Defenders know that one mistake is enough, 1 second of hesitation. One wrong step and he is gone. His speed is devastating. His confidence keeps growing. Most importantly, he no longer looks like a young prospect. He looks like a leader. Then there is Rodrygo, calm under pressure, technically brilliant, capable of changing matches in a single moment. The type of player coaches dream about having in major tournaments. And the talent doesn't stop there. Brazil continue producing exciting young players at a remarkable rate every season. Seems to introduce another star, another weapon, another reason for opponents to worry. For the first time in years, Brazil may not need one hero. They may have an entire army, and that changes everything. However, something even more important was happening beneath the surface, because talent alone has never guaranteed World Cup success, and Brazil's biggest transformation may have nothing to do with individual players at all. It may have everything to do with the way they... Now think about football. For decades, Brazil's identity seemed simple. Attack, entertain, create magic, score goals. That philosophy helped produce some of the greatest teams football has ever seen. When people thought about Brazil, they imagined dazzling dribbles, creative playmakers, beautiful goals, football that looked more like art than sport. But football has changed. The modern game is faster, more tactical, more demanding. The smallest mistake can end an entire tournament. And for many years, Brazil struggled to adapt. While European teams evolved tactically, Brazil often relied on moments of brilliance. When things went well, they looked unstoppable. When things went wrong, they sometimes had no backup plan. That was one of the harsh lessons from 2014, one of the painful lessons from 2018, and one of the heartbreaking lessons from 2022. The football world had changed. To win again, Brazil needed to change too. Slowly, that transformation began. The new generation grew up watching European football every week. Many of Brazil's biggest stars now play for the world's most demanding clubs. They compete against elite opposition constantly. They understand tactical systems, pressing structures, defensive responsibilities, game management. These are not just entertainers, they are complete footballers, and that difference could be enormous when the World Cup begins. Because World Cups are rarely won by the most exciting team. They are usually won by the most complete team. Think about recent champions. They could attack, but they could also defend. They could dominate possession, but they could also suffer. They knew how to survive difficult moments. That is the quality Brazil has been searching for, and many believe they are finally finding it. Yet football is never that simple. Because another challenge was growing bigger with every passing year. Pressure, unimaginable pressure. The kind of pressure few national teams experience. When England fail, fans are disappointed. When France fail, criticism follows. When Argentina fail, frustration explodes. But when Brazil fail, it feels different. The entire football world notices. Every tournament begins with expectations. Every generation is expected to become champions. Every player wears the weight of history. 5 stars above the badge. 5 reminders of greatness. 5 reminders of what fans expect. Imagine being 22 years old. Imagine walking onto the pitch. Imagine knowing that millions of people believe you represent the future of Brazilian football. Some players thrive under that pressure. Others struggle, and over the years, the pressure became heavier, especially after 2002. Every World Cup created another burden, another reminder, another countdown. The drought continued. The questions became louder. When will Brazil win again? Why can't Brazil finish the job? Has Brazilian football lost its magic? Those questions followed every squad, every coach, every captain, and nowhere was that pressure more visible than in Neymar's story. For over a decade, Neymar carried expectations that would have crushed many players. Every tournament seemed to revolve around him. Every defeat brought criticism. Every injury created panic. Some blamed him unfairly. Others expected miracles. Yet regardless of opinions, one fact remained true. Neymar spent years carrying the hopes of an entire nation, and that burden was enormous. Many football fans forget Something important, winning the World Cup is incredibly difficult. Some of the greatest players in history never achieved it. Legends retired without lifting the trophy. Entire golden generations failed. Yet because Neymar played for Brazil, many people acted as if success was guaranteed. It never was, and perhaps that is why this new generation feels different. The pressure is no longer focused on one player. It is spread across the team. Vinicius Jr. can change a game. Rodrygo can decide a match. The midfield can contribute. The defense can lead. Responsibility is shared. And shared responsibility often creates stronger teams. But while Brazil was evolving, something dangerous was happening elsewhere. Their rivals were getting stronger, much stronger, because if Brazil want to end their curse, they will not be fighting history alone. They will be fighting some of the most dangerous teams football has seen in years. Argentina remain a major threat. The world champions know exactly what it takes to win. Confidence changes everything. Once a team experiences success, fear disappears. Argentina understand the pressure. They understand knockout football, and they know how to suffer when matches become difficult. Then there is France, a nation overflowing with talent. Every tournament seems to reveal another superstar, their squad. Depth is frightening. Even when injuries strike, they continue producing elite players. Many experts believe France could dominate international football for years, and that should concern every rival. England remain dangerous. Spain continue developing exciting young talent. Germany are always capable of returning stronger. Portugal possess world-class quality throughout their squad, and there are always surprises. There is always an underdog, a team nobody expects, a nation capable of changing the tournament overnight. World Cups rarely follow the script. That unpredictability is what makes them special, and it is also what makes them terrifying. One bad match, one mistake, one red card, one penalty shootout, everything can disappear. Brazil know that better than anyone, because they have lived through it repeatedly. However, something about this current group stands out. When previous Brazilian teams lost, fans often complained about balance, too attacking, too emotional. Too dependent on individual brilliance. This team feels different, more mature, more disciplined, more prepared for modern tournament football. The players seem comfortable winning ugly, comfortable defending leads, comfortable adapting to different opponents. That flexibility could become one of their greatest strengths. And flexibility wins tournaments. Yet the most emotional chapter of this story is still ahead. Because ending the curse isn't just about tactics. It isn't just about talent. It isn't just about statistics. It is about redemption. An entire nation waiting for the moment that finally erases years of heartbreak. A generation trying to achieve what others could not. Millions of fans dreaming of one night, one final whistle. One trophy lifted into the sky. And when that moment arrives, if it arrives, the emotions could be unlike anything football has seen in years. But before Brazil can dream about glory, they must confront one final reality. A hidden weakness that could destroy everything. A weakness many fans are still ignoring, and that weakness might decide whether 2026 becomes a story of redemption or another chapter of heartbreak.